Hi and welcome to a special edition of Don't Be a Man About It. This month will be dedicated to all the dads out there in honor of Father's Day and Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I have my first guest for this month and this in the series, Ramzi Ghurani, managing partner at Petra Insurance. Ramzi, hi.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me on board.
No, thank you. Thank you for being here. Happy Father's Day in advance.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that you recognize that. So it's
yes.
good.
So before we begin, I want to ask I don't know if you know it, but my famous question, which is, how is your heart doing today?
My heart?
Yes.
Wow, that's a very big question. I mean, it's going well. I think my heart is being exercised quite a bit. Let's put it that way, and in a good way. You have some challenges. I feel like there's a lot of things happening these days that put that to the challenge in terms of thinking in a certain way, feeling in a certain way, understanding what your heart is going through right now. So I think it's been a very challenging time, but also a very great opportunity. So it's going. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Ramzi, what is the most thing that you enjoy being a dad?
That's a very good question. Being first of all, I have such a great time. I have such a great time with my two girls, Gianna and Jasmine, and they're a joy to be with. And there's so many memories there. I think seeing them kind of grow up and just seeing them do the really funny, cute things and personalities. Like my 14-year-old, I still think of her as my baby, when she was like a couple minutes old. and man, she's got a personality and really confident, and the way she thinks and talks, I'm like in awe. I'm surprised, like, okay, wow. I mean, I'm not surprised like she can't do it, but it's that concept of growth and their own personalities developing. And I think being part of that journey with them is a big deal for me. And I love to have as much input as I can for them as a father, that father teachings, whatever. But at the same time, it's their challenge and their journey that I'm seeing before me. And I think it's absolutely beautiful to see that and being part of something special as like a privilege, exclusive thing, being a father with these two beautiful girls.
And what's the least favorite thing of being a dad?
Yeah, I mean, I think the least favorite, as they grow older, they're getting also, they could have a lot of attitude, and I see them.
Especially girls.
And I get it all the time.
Yeah.
And not just towards me, I think in general, as they're getting their personalities. And I see them sometimes making mistakes that whether you're male or female, you're making those mistakes. And I'm like, okay, make those mistakes, but there's a point where you get worried. Like last night, I was a bit worried. Okay, what happens if they grow older and they're walking alone, they're 11, 12, what happens? Dubai is a safe place, but you worry like this, whether they're not, whether they're switched on in terms of the risk around them in this world. And that's kind of that's the biggest difficulty as a father, knowing that you've done enough to let them know that this is not clear cut in this world, that kind of protect yourself to a point where you don't limit yourself from growth.
Wow, that's a very nice distinction. And so how is your relationship with your kids? I know that it's a very close one. I have seen your TikTok videos with your daughters. And so it looks like there is this bond, closeness, the quality time, and clearly now with all the wisdom between the dad and the girls. But do they come to you with their secrets? Do they come to you with their not so common problems to say or to share with the dad, but they still choose to come to you with that?
Good question. Yes. So my elder one, Gianna, she likes to tell me everything, almost everything, not everything, but almost everything. And she says, I know this is what happened with me in school.
Yeah.
And this is what happened today at class. Basically trying to understand whether this is the right way of navigating through this or not.
Mm.
Shares with me all her music stuff, which I think is really nice
Oh, that's
because
very
there's,
cute.
yeah, because there isn't that kind of, oh, you're too old of a father. And actually some of the music that she's recommended for me, I actually Shazam it myself and I have it's on my playlist. So I mean, we have that, and then we talk about different things about life, about culture, pop culture, all these things. So and my younger one, she is blunt by nature. Okay, and she says, you know what? A couple of days last week, she was not pleased with one thing that happened from my side. She wasn't happy with the way I handled the situation.
Okay,
And then
that's
she's
the
like,
youngest one.
yeah, the 10-year-old Jasmine, and she's like, Baba, you know, she was explaining to me what I did wrong, and I'm like, okay, and I apologized. And I like that because I'm
Nice.
not the kind of person who stays quiet. Also, like I can get tough as well, and so, but they're not afraid of me, and I think
That's a
that's
very
really good.
good catch. That's
Yeah,
a very good catch. I love
yeah.
that you said they're not afraid of me, because I have noticed that there are still many parents that use the fear culture at home to make things happen or to prove a point, while it should be the opposite, but it's quite tiring.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And also when they don't do their chores, sometimes like, okay, guys, please, do like that's when I get upset. Like when I have to repeat myself like 3 or 4 times, and then
Yeah.
then they know, okay, let's do it. So these are the things that happen basically.
What is the most, what surprised you the most about being a dad for two girls?
How much fun I'd have.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're a source of entertainment for me, actually, believe it or not. And we have a lot of good times and fun stuff. We would joke around, like, for example, just being goofy. I think that's the part that is
I
really
like the word.
important. Yeah, we grow as adults and we miss out on being children,
Yeah.
and there's always a child within us. I chose not to be that super serious like parent. And when I say it's super serious, I mean like, just being an adult. With them, we act goofy, we have fun. You saw the TikTok videos, there's also like back when they were a bit younger, we would like do wrestling. I pretend I'm the Rock,
I
you know.
love wrestling. I used to do wrestling with my dad as well.
So there you go. Like, and then there's like these finishing moves that are supposed to be deadly, like the death drop. Like, Baba, please give me the death drop. Like, I'm like, guys, let's keep it quiet. Like, we don't want them to hear like what I'm giving the death drop. These things like so, and so these are things that I enjoy because we have fun together, and it's a choice to spend time with them. I made a conscious choice to spend more time with my family as opposed to necessarily going out with friends at a certain age. Like there was more of a priority, even from a business perspective. There's a lot of networking events that happen here in the UAE between 5 and 7. This, if I'm not with them, is fine, but this is prime time after school. And many times I've said no to networking events, which may have hurt me from business perspective. But overall, I want to nourish, and my job as a father is first and foremost. And I want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can. And sometimes just being around without always teaching something, just being around them is good, is what's needed,
I agree to
Yeah.
that. Thank you for pointing that out. I do remember when I was a kid, when I say quality time, it could be just exactly what you just said. It's just the fact that I could see my dad there in the room and I'm looking at him. Just the comfort of him there it was more than enough for me. So yes, I completely.
And can I add one more thing, please? Can I add one more
Of
thing to that?
course.
I've evolved. I've evolved as well. I used to think back in the day that I need to do only quality, high-end stuff, or when I say high-end, like going to the doing skating
Activities,
or super
talking.
activities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I realized that this is not necessarily the a must-have. Okay. So I've kind of toned down on all these activities, and as opposed to just basically relaxing, because it got tiring for me as well.
Yeah.
And as they get older with school, They got to do more homework and they're longer hours at school. So they also want to chill. So the chill time on the weekend, and just having a burger in front of like a Netflix, Stranger Things, or one of these things together, without doing anything in terms of obligations, is really the priceless moments that we have.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that takes us to the one most important question, is that how do you balance between Ramzi the father, Ramzi the managing partner, Ramzi the husband, Ramzi the friend? How do you take care of your mental health? And does your kids help you with that?
I mean, that is a big challenge for sure. I think there's too much on people's plates these days anyways.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I mean, maybe we want to make more money or we want to be successful. And so I think the world has changed so much where we're doing too much, actually. And I think, everybody say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm running a business, and that's exciting, but I think all these things together is overrated. And I think somehow something has to be sacrificed. So I'll give you an example. If you're going to be doing everything top notch, top father, top relationship, top spouse, top business, top everything, going to the gym, working out, which I think, me personally, I do so much of those, I burn out. Like, it's not even a question mark. I burn out. The difference now is that I realize just before I burn out what happens. I realize that, so I kind of stop myself.
Yeah.
And I say now, like, for example, the last Eid break, I just did not do anything. I said, no plans. I'm too tired to even think. And that's the issue. I think sometimes we're doing too many things, and it's difficult if you don't have the right tools to not burn out. And I think that's what the issue is burnout, which leads to maybe not having good quality work, brain fog, depression sometimes, feeling down, anger, and then hurting more relationships from that. So I think that is definitely a challenge. And I think what I do now is that I realize that I am susceptible to burnout. And so I'm able to realize when it's about to happen. It's kind of like when you have a cold, in the first bit of a cold, you start getting your itchy throat. So I kind of developed that skill.
And then you go and do a ginger shopping, honey shopping, lemon shopping.
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of what, and also I have a nice little herbal medicine called echinacea. So that's a perfect thing to take when you first feel it. And I guess everybody needs to have their own echinacea for your mental health, so.
My last question would be, if you had a mirror now just facing you and you had to say one thing for Ramzi the father, Ramzi the kid, Ramzi, whoever you want, just what would you say?
Honestly, that's a very good question. I would say, do your best, whatever that is. Don't put too much pressure. Basically, be able to sleep at night and you're saying alhamdulillah and you're grateful. I think that will be a successful thing when you have that peace in your heart, that peace in your heart, that you say, well, like, grateful. I'm actually, I take the time to say alhamdulillah for my kids, alhamdulillah for my work, my income, my partner, all these things. I think that is the goal for everybody. Because and the other piece of advice I would give to myself is find out early on, as much as you can, that what is your vision in life? What is it that you want? It can change, but it's important to have something and then let it be dynamic, let it tweak it whenever you can. Because I think one of the things that I didn't have is vision when I was younger. I was just doing whatever. And I was basically pulled from this direction to this job, to this thing. And a lot of things weren't me. And now, in the last few years, especially the past year, I've been very firm with my vision, with what I want, which also means boundaries. And you see, relationships don't last anymore. Some relationships don't last. Maybe some things in business are different now. And maybe people get pissed off at you because they're used to you a certain way, And I'm learning it now at 42 years old. It's better than 52 or 62 or 62 years old. But it's okay if it was at 52 years old. But I would love it if I had it also at 32 years old or 35. Just, it makes a difference sometimes. But that's my only piece of advice I would give myself, and actually everybody, is try and figure out a vision. And it's the hardest thing, because you need to sit down and think, what the hell do I need to do? What is my what do I stand for? Even if you don't have an answer, at least you've started the conversation with yourself, and it will come. And I think that's it. One thing that I realized, I want peace of mind. So money brings me peace of mind. You know, my daughter's being raised in a nice way, and growing up is peace of mind for me. So that's what I want. It's how I want to enjoy life, but also have fun. This is the thing. So that's basically what it is in a nutshell.
Ramzi, thank you so much for that. And on behalf of everyone listening and your kids, I can only say thank you for being here, and thank you for being authentic, showing up authentically and sharing lots of stuff that not everyone is comfortable enough to say them out loud. So hats off. Thank you so much. May your heart always be in peace, and of having a clear vision of what you want to do, and having the strength to change directions when needed. And yeah, thank you. Happy Father's Day again.
I appreciate
would you like to say anything else before we end the
I think I've done enough talking. And I just want to say thank you very much for making this happen. I think it's very important that you've recognized fathers and just males in general. I think that's an important part of society. Of course, I think it's very important to kind of highlight that because you need both sides, females and males, to work together for a better just a healthier balanced way of looking at life. So.
Absolutely, thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode with a new dad, a new superhero.